Okay, hi guys, and welcome to the show. Today, something to try and help out the younger gentry out there, but if you're my age or older, the learning certainly never stops. I'll do a quick wristwatch check, the Dan Henry 1962 on just the standard black leather strap because it matches my outfit, of course. Guys, do add your items, essential items you believe you should definitely have by the time you're 30 in the comments below. Let's try and help out as many people as we can. Oh, and don't forget to like this video. After all, according to Ralph Waldo Emerson, the purpose of life is not to be happy, it is to be useful. In this video, we are talking about physical items or objects. So while it is indeed essential to always strive to improve oneself in terms of character, manners, education, and so on, that is an entirely different video. The following items are tools worthy of investment that will improve your life and, if used effectively, even bring success. Okay, number one, it's a good pair of shoes. If I had to pick one sartorial item above all else, the reason is simple. You use them every day and is the only item you will wear that has a physical contact between you and the ground constantly. No other item of clothing will ever be put through this kind of rigorous wear and tear. So it's logical in investing and not a false economy. While there are always overpriced brands that charge you for the brand name more than the actual quality, higher-end traditional shoemakers, especially British brands like John Lobbs, Lokes, Churches, Crockett & Jones, offer some of the world's best bespoke shoemaking. So why do I recommend mostly British brands? Well, shoemaking actually started in London as a trade in the 13th century, a tradition that has carried on to this very day and is respected throughout the world. As you'd imagine, these brands cost an absolute arm and a leg. So, for a more affordable version, I would recommend Clarks. Accessible versions of all the classics. So they got their brogues, they've got their Chelsea boots, they've got their Oxford. My personal favourite is always the classic Chukka boot. Invented originally as a sports shoe for playing polo, it then evolved during the war into the desert boot in the North African campaign. In fact, Clarks were the official supplier of the British Army, and the suede casual smart look has remained largely unchanged. These days, you can also get them in leather for a more formal look, and they work great when suited and booted, while still giving you support around the ankle compared to your typical dress shoe. What is important here is that you have to find your go-to shoe that you are happy in, that you feel comfortable, confident, and works for you. And while we are on the subject of footwear, never underestimate the importance of good sneakers, or trainers as we say back in Blighty. I believe in exercising every single day, and thus some investment in sneakers should never be overlooked, like in my recent Nike Vapor Max review. Long before the printing press, electronic computing, social media, the greatest civilizations were just judged on the might of their armies and architectural wonders, but the academic expanse and quality of the libraries in their big cities. Before these handcrafted books existed, there was only the spoken word from generation to generation and rudimentary forms of art to record, explore, express ideas, or document crucial moments in our history. It's sad to think that these once greatly valued and prized possessions, as much as jewellery, for example, today can be purchased often for less than a Happy Meal. But civilization's loss is the gentry's gain. You can buy some of the world's most important and world-changing literature for next to nothing, especially used. There's no shame in buying pre-owned books, and as they are cheap as chips, you can quickly build a small library of go-to books that will help, inspire, empower, and educate you on being a better person. Now, Cicero said, a room without books is like a body without a soul. Books are for the mind as a gym is for the body. Whatever you are interested in, there is a book about it. Learn a language, the history of a person you admire and can learn from. Study anything, place, hobby that you are interested in perhaps, or simply a collection from an artist that gives you ideas and guidance in your own life. All is needed is a few books and some autodidactic discipline, and you can really change your life. The Dutch philosopher Erasmus once joked, "When I get a little money, I buy books, and if there is any left, I buy food and clothes." I once saw an interview with Kurt Cobain, and he said he always carried around with him the classic novel Perfume, The Story of a Murderer by Patrick Suskind. When asked why, he explained it inspired his incredible music.
I can't stop reading it. It's like something that's just stationary in my pocket all the time. It just doesn't leave me, and every time I'm bored, like I'm on an airplane or something, I read it over and over again.
Upon hearing that, it has brought a whole new meaning and understanding to his music. Finding that one book that moves, propels, and motivates you is such a wonderfully powerful thing. As you guys know, it's a Marcus Aurelius' Meditations for me personally. Have you found yours? Please share your go-to favorite book in the comments.
So this is how you run a business. How frightfully interesting.
Okay, number 3, you want a quality bag, something that will last the generations. I personally believe you want to invest a bit more money and get something of a better construction that will last the generations. You don't believe me? Check out my grandfather's bags and briefcase he used every single day. My personal favorite has to be the larger double Palissy that I reviewed before Christmas late last year. This time I chose it in black compared to the single cognac I owned before, with the grey interior for a more discreet look. So what are you actually paying for that makes this superior to anything more affordable? Well, like high-end watches, it's materials and craftsmanship. The premium handmade vaqueta leather, heavy-duty individually polished Recagne zips, the ultra-robust 220 GCM technical nylon canvas interior, all utilized masterfully and built to last. Now, you've seen this a million times. This is my Swanfield wallet, aged fantastically like a vintage watch. Just like shoes, the higher the quality, the better. It's not something you want to economize on. Also, like shoes, you have to buy for purpose. What function does the bag serve? Is it a smart business environment, a weekend traveling bag, or something less formal? Regardless of the role it serves, always buy the more classical style that will not be a fashion victim and look dated when it comes to handing it down. Since the beginning of the channel, I have been a staunch supporter, user, and now pretty much a collector of leather products from Carl Friedrik. This London-designed and mainly Tuscan leather manufacturer is the perfect marriage of high-end quality, tasteful classic aesthetics, but without the tacky status symbol branding or the marked-up pricing because of it. For situations where turning up in a backpack is too informal, their super classy Palissy briefcase is utter perfection. For short-stay adventures, the weekend bag is just as elegant and robustly constructed. For longer trips, they now do the carry-on case I previously reviewed in my recent trip to NYC. Do check it out if you missed it. I love Carl Friedrik so much, it led me to even collaborate on a watch case with them. And like my cognac leather wallet of the same material, ultra robust in construction, especially when it comes to the stitching. The natural patina as the leather is used over time, making it completely unique. The same will happen to the bags. And for something that will be used for the entirety of your life, think of it as an investment, especially when you eventually save money, as you will not need to replace these items every few years because they wear down and break. Number 4, you know I'm going to have to include this. Actually, technically, it should have been number 1, but watches. And especially right now, as we're facing something of a second quartz crisis. Listen, I'm not against smartwatches as a secondary watch, but as your only watch, I think is a big mistake. I've said this before, if smartwatches got you into wearing a watch again, then fantastic. I'd be lying to you if I didn't tell you that I think and feel deep in my heart that everyone should own a real watch. But what is a real watch? While those with more money than class will scoff at the entry level, to me, a real watch is anything from a Casio F91W costing $10 to a minute repeater from a haute horology watchmaker. So what is the difference? What makes it real? Well, it's simple. No matter the power source, battery, solar, manual wind or automatic, it keeps time independently. not needing online software updates or needing to be replaced. A real watch never becomes obsolete and can be with you for your entire life. I still own my grandfather's gold Charles Frodsham pocket watch, and knowing he wore it on his person every day means a great deal to me. The Apple Watch I reviewed on this channel several years ago, in comparison, doesn't even hold a charge anymore and won't turn on. Whereas the pocket watch still keeps reasonably good time, and considering it's over a century old, is very impressive. All it needs is a little love, regulation and attention. Real watches have a soul. They come in a myriad of designs and styles to truly reflect your identity, complement any outfit to match your tastes and individuality. If you are anything like me, I am sure you watch spot when out and about. And I have to say, I do feel disappointed when I see someone wearing another boring, cookie-cutter, pedestrian, soulless smartwatch. Whereas with a real watch, you can start a conversation. What was I saying? When I see somebody with a Speedmaster or a cool-looking Casio or a very obscure micro brand, I'm immediately more interested in them. There's a level of maturity. And let's not forget that time is the most precious commodity. You could have all the money in the world, but if you're sitting on your deathbed, the one thing you're wishing and cannot buy is more time. With a disposable smartwatch that you need to replace every few years, you never get to bond with it on a sentimental level. You don't add your own personal histories of past adventures, and no matter how innovative it may be, it will never eclipse the history of our favorite traditional watch brands. Watches, and beyond that, horology, is a subject and refinement any well-rounded individual should know something about. And the great thing is, for a third and sometimes even a quarter the price of a smartwatch, you can buy an Orient Bambino, for example, an automatic traditional watch that will never go out of style and will last you several lifetimes. At number 5, it's more formal attire, and this can vary greatly depending on your own personal preferences. When I was thinking about this video, I was tempted to put a suit on the list.
Nice suit. John Phillips, London. I have two myself.
While shirts, socks, underwear and other clothing items may come and go as they need to be replaced, formal attire only needs to be purchased perhaps only a few times in your life, unless of course you wear it every day. But why is it crucial? Well, at some point you are going to have to attend a wedding or a job interview or some kind of formal function. A time when you have to put your best foot forward, and putting on a suit is important to pay your respect and show that you are serious or professional. Now, as you guys know, I am not a suit and tie kind of a guy. Now, don't get me wrong, few things are as dapper as a person in a smart, well-tailored suit. But for me, a well-matched sports jacket works just as well for occasions when looking a bit more elegant is required. I also have my velvet dinner jackets for operas and classical concerts, and various types of traditional tweed for less formal daily wear. And then there's linen jackets for warmer climates. The wonderful thing is, you can dress these jackets up with a button shirt or a turtleneck. Alternatively, you can just keep it more youthful and modern looking with a plain black t-shirt and jeans. I love jackets like this as it enables me to still look some semblance of respectful without looking like you're trying too hard. Incidentally, that is the very definition of sprezzatura. It's also more affordable than a full suit, and you can get these types of jackets in seemingly endless plethora of styles, materials, colours and patterns to express yourself far more than a suit. What's important here is that you buy the more formal clothes that you are comfortable in, even if you're not going to wear it every day. A sports jacket layered with a classic peacoat, or a waterproof Ventile raincoat like mine from Private White VC allows you to be dapper whatever the weather. With a world that can unfortunately descend into such beastly behavior and barbarism all too easily, do not be fooled by the magic of technology, for it is art that is mankind's greatest achievement, and in my opinion it's what separates us the most from let's be honest, we're still an animal evolving. Now, before you roll your eyes and expect me to tell you to buy a Monet, Picasso or Turner painting, don't worry. Art can come in so many mediums and prices. I myself collect movies, music, and antiques, among many other things, for example. Even a poster of your favorite Liechtenstein is absolutely fine. You can even make art yourself. It does not have to cost much to have it. But why is it so important? Art ultimately influences society. It changes opinions, instilling values, and translating experiences across time and space. Research has shown that art affects the fundamental sense of self. It inspires, it motivates, arouses so many emotions, preserving what fact-based historical records cannot. Essentially, art is a form of communication. It traverses different cultures and different times to communicate, using images, sounds, and stories.
The art a country or a person calls beautiful gives you vital clues as to what's missing in them. It's in the power of art to help us be more rounded, more balanced, and more sane.
Art should be used every day. For example, if I want to relax and focus during work, I listen to Glenn Gould playing Bach. To get motivated, I may watch a James Bond movie, or to remind myself who I am and what I believe in, I look at my favorite Renaissance masterpieces. Aristotle once said, "The aim of art is to not represent the outward appearance of things, but their inward significance." So what items would you add to this list? And most importantly, why? Do share that down below. I'd love to hear your motivations. Perhaps it's a pocket knife, perhaps it's supremely robust outerwear. In fact, actually, I think that would have been my number 7. Another item of clothing, maybe. Thank you so much for watching. Please don't forget to like this video if you enjoyed it and found it useful. And as always, I will catch you in the next one. Okay, ciao.